Cher President Karima Delli, merci. Dear members of the European Parliament, thank you for this invitation, providing me the opportunity to complement the picture given by our customers and the airports with the European manufacturer view. Airbus is often used as a symbol of success of industrial European integration. Because we capture 50% of the worldwide market, because we were able to grow, provide technology, innovation, jobs in Europe. However, one has to understand our industrial model. Our wings of commercial aircraft are manufactured in the UK, our fuselage in Germany, our tails in Spain, and our nose and the center wing box of our aircraft in France. Therefore, our success, our worldwide success, depends very much on the free movement of people and products traveling seamlessly across borders. And this is what makes our competitiveness on the worldwide stage. On top of our ability to export, those are key drivers of the jobs and the sales we're providing for Europe. If we focus on the UK obviously plays a very important place in our manufacturing footprint, in space and defense, but for the commercial aircraft I've just mentioned, all our wings are manufactured in North Wales, East Broughton, and therefore without the UK, Airbus will be a bus and not an aircraft. So UK has always been very important. We directly employ 14,000 people, indirectly 100,000. We have 4,000 companies supplying us in the UK, and a lot of interesting technology and research topics going on in the UK. You have to imagine that those parts can cross the channel several times. So we really need 80,000 business trips a year, and we really need this seamless way to work on our different parts of the product. What about Brexit? Well, I mean, pragmatically, you know that Airbus publicly lobbied against the Brexit at the time of the referendum, and it was not because of ideology, it was for common business sense, I would say. Because we're competing on the worldwide stage. So the long-term competitiveness of our different sites across Europe are very important to us. We're competing against the US today, and the day after tomorrow we'll compete against China. So it's very important to preserve this cost aspect. I have only 5 minutes, so let me concentrate on the headlines of our key topics, which at that stage are more questions than answers, because we don't really know how the Brexit will unfold. The first key topic is around movement of staff. As I said, we need to rapidly have people working on different parts. So how to dispatch rapidly an expert, being an Airbus employee from the UK, or being a UK supplier of Rolls-Royce, for example, for the engine, if we have a problem across the channel. That needs to be quick, and that needs to happen efficiently. That's the first element. On top, obviously, of the rights of our expatriate, we have 1,900 people, EU to UK or UK to EU, that obviously we need to take care of. So that's the first question on the agenda. The second big topic for us, which is very concerning, is about the checks at the border and the regulatory divergence. Because we are sending parts and components across borders, we obviously have an interest not to have tariffs and on customs. Here, and that's a big difference with the airlines, we have some solution, EU solution, UK solution, and potentially a WTO agreement that we could rely on to alleviate the tariff impact. But for us, the industry, what is really concerning is the non-tariff impact. Because checks at borders can be very problematic for us, for our competitiveness, for the delivery on time. Can you imagine having a wing or lots of wings stuck at the borders, and we're not able to deliver to our customer on the timeline we agreed with them? That would be a huge issue for us. even if there would be a customs union-like agreement that would solve the customs checks at borders, we would still have some issues with the checks at border regarding regulation, and in particular environment. So how do we make sure that those checks are done in a very efficient manner? This is another topic to work on. We spoke already about EASA and the importance of EASA for our sector. Obviously, we don't want any divergence on regulation, on safety and certification. That probably requires some flexibility on the other side as well, because it's not only about convergence of regulation. Obviously, we need some enforcement mechanism that goes hand in hand. We cannot have one and not the other. So that's another important topic we need to work on. So those are very crucial topics on our competitiveness. And then we have a third stream that I would call the partnership aspect. We partner with the UK industry in space. For example, we have a subsidiary on Galileo providing components to Germany OHB. Are we going to call an end to those partnerships? We work closely with our UK supply chain on very interesting topics on the European research like CESAR and Clean Sky. How do we make sure that this partnership can continue? So as you can see, to sum up and put it in a nutshell, we need an agreement. We would be very bad without agreement. And there is still a lot of uncertainty on those specifics of this agreement. And this is very important for us to be able to compete on the worldwide stage. Thank you.